Hello, everyone. Today I have a call from a gentleman from Jordan. He's quite successful at dropshipping, very new at this, and he has a lot of questions about how to structure his business, how to pay sales taxes, does he have to pay sales taxes, what's going on with income taxes, and things like that. This is actually a really good call, and I know you're going to enjoy it. So you can just leave it a thumbs up right now, and don't forget to subscribe before we get there. But now, after you've liked the video, let's get to the call.
Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too
How are you doing? How do I pronounce your name? Kwasai?
Kusai.
Kusai. Okay. Nice to
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
you.
Nice to meet you as well, man. And thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Jordan.
From Jordan. Awesome. So that's great. So normally how we do these calls, if you've seen any of them, is you can tell me a little bit about your situation, what you're doing, your goals, what you're trying to achieve, and then I can help you answer some of your questions.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I've seen one of your interviews, so yeah, I get the structure, how it works.
I mean, it's super simple. That's the structure. I say that, and
Yeah.
then we start.
Yeah, for sure. Are we on right now? Do we start?
Yeah, I mean, I just recorded it. I started recording, so it's
Yeah.
recording.
Okay, cool, man. So just to give you a bit of an idea, I registered a company in Delaware last year, so I'd be able to use Stripe and open a US bank and all that stuff.
Were you able to
And
do those things?
yeah. Thankfully, everything went well from that.
What
Yeah.
bank did you open? I mean, yeah, what bank
So
you use?
so I used a service. Actually, the bank part was a bit hard because I started with. I'm sure you're familiar with Pioneer and these online banks.
Yeah, they're not
And
really banks. They're just payment intermediaries. They're not actual banks.
for sure, yeah, and they stopped accepting. They sent me a message saying that they can't accept me as a client or something like that. So I had to find a real bank. One of the services I found was Mercury. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Of
them.
course. Yeah, Mercury's good.
Yeah. So thankfully they were able to help me out, and so now I have a U.S. bank and a U.S. company. So at the moment, I'm making around 150,000 per month in revenue. And
Awesome.
so, yeah,
Is that drop shipping or some kind of e-commerce?
yeah, drop shipping.
Okay. Is that sales or is that your net?
No, that's revenue sales.
Okay, revenue. Awesome. That's
Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I'm thinking of scaling as well. So I wanted to know what's the best tax strategy or structure for me at this moment because I mean it gets confusing honestly. So maybe I can learn from you about that.
Sure. So it mostly depends on how you're paying tax in Jordan and how that works there. I assume you're probably not paying any tax in Jordan, right?
At the moment, I'm not. Yeah. So. Um,
So is it like if you send your money to Jordan, you have to pay taxes there?
so actually, I'm using my debit card for payments, my US bank debit card, the Mercury card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's an issue as well. I'm not sure what's the best way to um, how to get my money basically. So should I keep using this debit card or should I just transfer it to my personal local bank account? Um,
If you can transfer it without having any issues in terms of like taxes in Jordan, then yeah, I would diversify where you're holding your funds a little bit just in case there's ever any kind of account issue or any kind of blocked account. You want to always have more options available. So as you intend to scale, you want to have backups for everything. In case Stripe fails, you need to have a backup payment processor. In case your bank locks you out, you need to have a backup bank. So that's kind of the things you should probably work on right away, is just making sure that in case any of these, you're relying on these services, in case any of them stops or fails or kicks you out or whatever, then you have a way to keep operating, because right now you have momentum and you're moving. So you need to be able to, keep selling and keep operating.
Yeah, for sure. But I think I'm gonna face some problems if I wanted to transfer the money directly to my personal account. That would probably raise some red flags here. So I was wondering if you might. I know you're not probably familiar with my local like tax situation, but what can I do in your opinion to like receive the money without paying tax? Uh,
Well, a more of the same. So you have,
yeah.
I would use you can just have a lot of debit cards that you use, or use a credit card, an international credit card. You can get an American Express card or something and use that for everything, and then just pay that from your bank account, which is better than using debit cards, in my opinion.
Okay.
Not racking up credit, but just using it for the purchase security and flexibility and the points and those kind of things. I wouldn't like just get credit card debt. That's an American thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, having additional bank accounts, like if you open a TransferWise account, you can get a debit card that you can use. If you open, we have some other online banks that we use for our clients that give you debit cards. If you ever can make a trip to the US, you can open like 10 bank accounts and then just use debit cards for all of them. I know it's and then when you need to do things in cash, maybe like if you can't pay your rent with a credit card, or if you want to like make a big purchase, you just got to find ways to do that. For example, if you want to buy some property in Jordan to improve where you're at, then you would see if you can send it directly to the person you're buying from your one of your US accounts.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good, man. That's one of the big issues for sure. I need to find a way to do that. I also had a question regarding my income tax and sales tax and all that stuff. So from what I understood is that I don't have to pay income tax at the moment in the US.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I'm not like physically in the US. Um, but I also have like I'm also thinking of moving inventory into the US. So would that be like I think you called it economic nexus or something?
Yeah, well, they have sales tax nexus. So if you have inventory in a state, you definitely have to pay sales tax in the state. But it sounds like you're doing enough volume to probably have to require to be remit sales taxes in a number of states. So are you using Shopify?
I'm no, I'm actually using ClickFunnels. I'm not sure if you're familiar
Yeah,
with.
I am. So using ClickFunnels and you're
Yeah.
yeah, so you're probably not collecting any sales taxes at all. You're not doing any sales taxes. How long have you been doing this business?
So it's actually very new. I've been in this business for like 3 months now.
Wow, you have more success than most people do at 3 months. I'll tell you that.
No,
So
yeah, thankfully, but I spent like 6 months earlier just learning this whole e-commerce thing. I'm kind of new to the whole space, so
well, you're making it happen. Believe me, I talk to people every day who are like, I want to start, I want to figure it out, I just don't know what to do, and they just don't do anything. So to get to this many in sales, I mean, hopefully you have a decent margin. Are you making money? Because I did,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's about 30% profit margins, which is I think it's fine. It's normal. It's
No,
average.
it's
But
awesome.
definitely, yeah, that's awesome. But definitely took a lot of hard work, you know. So definitely was not an easy process.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but it's the rewards are great. 30% on that. So doing it's that like 30,000 a month or something. I'm bad at
Yeah,
mental
a
math.
bit more
Yeah, a
than
little
that.
more. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's incredible, right? And especially for an online business, you're the only employee, probably. Maybe you have a couple VAs or whatever.
yeah, for sure.
But that's the sales tax thing is definitely an issue, and that's probably one of the downfalls of using ClickFunnels is that I don't know if they have any plugins or integrations that can help you with that data, because basically so that's like the benefit of using Amazon is that they do the sales taxes for you. And this is a big risk for you as you go forward. It's good we're talking now because you probably don't have you're new now, but as you go forward, once you have sales tax nexus in these states, you're required. It's not an additional expense to you, but it's something that you need to collect from clients. So if you have to collect 7% sales tax in Florida, and you're required to pay it, but you never collect it, then you might have to pay it out of your profits later. And that they might like assess it to you, to your company and things like that. When in reality, what you should have been doing is just charging 7% on everything you sell so that you can then send that money to the state.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
So
like
it's
if you don't collect it from your clients, then you're going to have to pay it in the end. And that's the risk of not doing it. And I'm not sure if there's plugins for, there probably is. ClickFunnels is huge. So they probably have plugins for helping with sales taxes.
yeah, I need to look into that. But I mean, how do I pay sales tax? I mean, do I have to like? I mean, from what I understood, I need to pay sales tax for each state. So I have to contact each state,
Each state that
or
you sell, and each state, it's sales tax is crazy right now because they are charging on internet sales if you pass the economic nexus, which is over 200 individual sales in a state or $100,000 of sales. But I'm sure I don't know what you're selling. What are you selling?
it's like physical products,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
So you have a
But
general store?
yeah, it's a general store, and it's not a general store. It's like a funnel that I sell through, um, like health products, stuff like that.
Health
So it's
products.
maybe, yeah, it's a niche, I guess, a niche
Yeah,
store.
that's what I'm just saying. Like, because it's ClickFunnels, I've never seen a general store in ClickFunnels. It's really for selling like one or two products with some upsells and some downsells. That's like the
Exactly. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Exactly.
okay. So um, yeah, it's based on the number of actual uh, items you ship into the state, and it's based on basically the shipping address. So if you ship 200 items to California, you're going to have to register in California and remit sales taxes, and
Um,
you have to do it in every state. So usually there's services for this that aren't super expensive. So you need to you should really look into some of these services. Like TaxJar is one I recommend. Sometimes they have a lot of good information. There's a
okay.
couple of different services that you can kind of work through that will do a lot of
Okay.
the work for you.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So when it comes to sales tax, I need to just like figure out which states I have passed the economic nexus, and then
Yeah.
I pay sales tax to each of these states using like tax jar. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess the first question is if you want to write these down is to determine if your products are subject to sales tax in the state. And then you have to determine if you have passed the nexus threshold in the state. And then you have to figure out how to register. And then you have to figure out how to include sales tax in your funnel. So basically, you have to make it a step where it adds the amount of sales tax depending on the shipping address to the order, which might be something that's very technologically difficult in ClickFunnels.
Uh-huh.
So that might be tricky to do in ClickFunnels because it's not like a lot of people use Shopify because it's like an out of the box thing. So maybe it makes sense to use ClickFunnels for everything, but use like a different checkout tool and integrate it with the ClickFunnels so that you can stay on top of the sales taxes.
I mean, hopefully there's some sort of code or something out there. There's a lot of solutions for everything. So I'm hoping I can find some sort of solution for this issue.
I'm sure there is a good solution for this out there. I don't know what it is offhand, but um, you know, the risk is high, and it's tricky here too because let's say you don't ever do any sales taxes, and then the states say, "Oh, you owe us sales taxes," and then what do you close your LLC and open another one? Like, like that's. I just think of practically how they're going to assess these taxes on you.
So I
It's
can actually do that. Like
You
I
can do
can.
whatever you want. I'm just talking from all angles of it. I'm just giving you my opinion and some speculation on it. Is that this law just passed in 2018? It's getting implemented now, and these states are trying to collect sales taxes. But for an international person from Jordan who has all his money I know it's in Mercury now, and it'd be annoying to set up again. But
Yeah.
you know, if the administrative cost of managing this isn't worth it, that, then you know, that I'm trying to think of, like, if you didn't do anything, they could assess these taxes on you, but I don't know how they would stick. Maybe they would. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, that definitely would be the best solution, to just not do any sales tax. That would be cool. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. But your recommendation is that I actually pay it. Yeah.
If you like, the thing is, if you do it right, the clients pay for it, and
For sure.
it's just like a small percentage upcharge on the order that is typically required of physical products for people who live in the United States. So it's not an obscene thing if I'm buying from you for you to charge me sales tax. It's not like I'm going to say, oh no, I'm not doing it now. Maybe some people will, but it shouldn't. There shouldn't be an additional tax on you. The issue for you is if you can manage the administrative portion of it without spending hundreds of hours doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. It's definitely a headache to manage this whole sales tax situation. Um, okay, so going back to income tax, I wanted to ask you, like, what is the form that I need to submit to the IRS? Is there something I need to submit, or am I just okay if I just pay the franchise tax? I think
So you
it's
have
called.
a single member LLC,
Yeah, yeah.
then you have to do the form 5472 every year.
Can you please repeat? 4572?
It's form 5472 is the form number, and it's
Yeah.
required to report basically the transactions between the LLC and yourself. And there's a specific way to complete the form.
Okay. So is there like it's only, so it's not about how many sales I made. It's just the even if I
Basically,
didn't do like even if there's no transactions between me and my LLC,
well,
like large ones.
if you're using the money for personal purposes, then that would be like distributions.
Okay.
And if you and even and it includes paying to open the company, paying your franchise fees, paying those different things. If you do it with your money, or you pay those things, it basically everything's reported. I would be very, very surprised if you didn't have to file this form.
Okay. So I should file it. Yeah. Do you know when?
Yeah, for certainly. When did you open your company?
Last June.
Yeah, then we would have to file it before July 15th this year, the first one. And then it's every year it's April 15th. Just this year, because of all the stuff going on, it's July 15th this year.
Okay. And so is it something I can do on my own, or is it something that I would need some like professional service to help me with?
If you have a lot of time to dedicate to learning how to do it, then you can maybe figure it out. It's pretty complicated, and there's no software for it or any easy way to do it. So, I mean, we do it for all of our clients.
Okay, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
we can help you with that if you need help, completing that form.
Okay, definitely, definitely. So I might might contact you later with, and maybe I could email you about this. And
Yeah, of course. What a lot of our clients do is, if like you people like yourself who are really like, you like to do everything yourself and you like to be on top of it, know what's going on, you maybe pay for it done right the first year and then do it yourself in subsequent years. Always,
okay, yeah,
always
that
like
makes sense.
that's like an option.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's cool, man. And I wanted to ask you, like, I heard you saying like one of the good ways is to like register a company in Belize or one of these offshore countries, and then connect it to my LLC. Is that something that I need to do, or is it recommended for me?
It's recommended for, like, for example, if in Jordan, if you had a tax liability, then it would be like, it's more for Jordan rules. You wouldn't do it for the US, you do it for Jordan. So I don't know. I have clients in Latin. Most of my clients are in Latin America. So I know in countries like Colombia, Colombia specifically, we have a lot of clients from Colombia. In Colombia, having a corporate blocker gives a lot of added protection, and it's definitely worth it for Colombians. I don't know if it's necessary for you or if it's worth it or if it even helps. But if it provides a little bit more legal protection from you having to pay taxes in Jordan, then it's probably worth it, because the idea is corporation, the income passes from the LLC to the owner, which is a corporation, and the corporation has basically a 0% tax rate. So it's like you are not, you're not the one where the income flows to. It goes to a
Yeah, yeah.
corporation instead. That's the idea.
Okay, cool. So maybe I check for Jordan, what's the specific situation.
Yeah, to keep yourself protected.
Okay, cool, man. And I just wanted to ask you like about inventory again. Do you think I should like be drop shipping from China? Is that a better solution than having inventory in the States?
Oh yeah, good question. I'm glad we're circling back to this. So for businesses that are large and that are really scaling and really growing, a lot of times, and what I've been helping my clients with, is opening up US corporations instead of LLCs. The LLC is great, but there can be limitations to it. And with the corporation, you don't have to worry about any risk or any exposure from an income tax perspective, because you have to pay taxes here. But what we end up doing is basically paying a large majority of the taxes out to a foreign company that you would own and have a contract there in place. So you wouldn't end up really paying much tax in the US. And you also wouldn't have like, you would have the same kind of tax result, but operationally it can be a little bit easier, because all of these things that have been a hassle with the LLC are less of a hassle with a corporation.
Okay.
It might not work. It might not make sense for you. It might not be the best choice for you, but that's something that, if you have a lot of inventory here, will kind of protect you from that. Because if you have a lot of inventory and the IRS comes and says you're doing business here, you have to pay taxes here yourself, and we're going to assess this tax bill and we're going to do all this, then that's the risk there. Whereas the risk with using a corporation would be that this transaction is these management fees you're paying out to this company in Nevis are not real fees, or this is, but we'll have the agreements there, so that'll be an easier argument to make.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I get you. So so in your opinion, it's better to do that inventory thing if I start a corporation instead of an LLC in the
And
US, yeah?
as you keep growing, if you're going to keep a lot of inventory here and own it yourself, you should probably have a corporation to own the inventory. Even if you use the corporation just to hold the inventory and you still operate the sales out of the LLC, you need to have some kind of separation from the LLC and the physical inventory in the US. That's really going to keep your LLC tax free.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I mean, that definitely is something I need to consider if I wanted to like move inventory into the US.
Yeah, certainly.
Well, that's it. I don't think I have any more questions, but I will definitely like contact you about the forms and the stuff we talked about, and maybe you can help me out with them.
Certainly, yeah. I'm definitely happy to help you out with completing those forms. And a lot of what I do, I make a video for you explaining what we did. It'll really set you up for if you want to do it yourself next year, because I can see you're definitely someone who you're pretty sharp and you do it yourself. Do it DIY guy. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, thank you, man. Thanks a lot for the consultation.
Yeah, I hope it was helpful, and thanks for subscribing to the channel and liking all my videos.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I would
Uh,
definitely like this video when I see it.
Okay, great. Yes, it'll be up in a couple of days probably.
Okay, cool, man. Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks
Hey,
again.
best of luck to you and congrats on your success. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye. See you.
Okay, everyone, that call went really well. I think that we were able to answer all of his questions. He's a really sharp guy. He's obviously found a lot of success with drop shipping, and it's awesome he's doing it through ClickFunnels. I love ClickFunnels myself. and it's just a little tricky. It can be a little tricky for the sales taxes and stuff. I'm sure there's a good plugin. But if you thought the call was helpful and you got a lot out of it, again, I appreciate a thumbs up, appreciate a subscription. I'm trying to make more of these videos and help more people. And if you want to have a call with me and go over your questions, there should be a link in the description to do this yourself. So look forward to speaking with you, and thanks for watching. Until the next time, see you there.